I'm here with Frank, and we just witnessed Arsenal beat Girona 2-1 and qualify for the next round in the Champions League. Frank? What is that, Frank?
Can you smell it?
No, I can't. What is it? It's not me.
It's a smell of victory, Laurie. It's a smell of victory. It's not as potent as it usually is today, but nevertheless, it's 3 points and it's a smell of victory. Arsenal have got the 3 points today. I'm happy.
Yeah, they got the victory. Credit to the team. Although I would challenge you a little bit. I think it wasn't the best of performances. But hey, that's my take.
Yeah.
What's your take? We're here to listen to you.
Well, at the moment, that's nothing new. I think over the last few weeks, potentially even the last few months, we've not been seeing fantastic Arsenal performances. But what we have been seeing is still getting results. Even when we're performing bad, we're still getting the results that we need to get. And ultimately, I don't care if we played Route 1 football. I don't care if we scored one goal.
That's not what you said on the stream.
No. Let's not do this. I don't care if we played Route 1 football. I don't care if we scored one goal and then passed it around the back for 90 minutes. As long as we get the win, that is all I am concerned about as an Arsenal fan, because ultimately the wins are what matter the most, so I can't complain.
You know what? You're absolutely right about that, but let me present another side to that argument. And this is something that I've been going back and forth with a number of Arsenal fans about when we've put in performances that have been less than stellar. Yes, I am grateful for the win. Yes, I'm grateful for the 3 points. I'm more than grateful to the team for getting through to the next stage of the Champions League. But I think sometimes it's about standards. You set yourself a standard as a club. You set yourself a way of playing and trying to be the best you can be. Sometimes when you fall below it and you're happy with that, I think sometimes you can be setting yourself up for future disappointments.
I understand what you're saying, and I understand this argument about, we should be playing a certain way, and we're not playing the way that we want to play as per se. But Spurs are playing the way they want to play football. It's not going very well for them at the moment, is it? And they insist on playing this style of football. Whilst our football isn't attractive to watch at the moment, and I can agree with that much, it's not attractive to watch. It's not the most entertaining football to watch at the moment. It's getting us results. Yeah. And ultimately, like I said, that is all that matters. Obviously, I would rather us play more entertaining football. But like I said, as long as we get the result, it doesn't matter. I will speak about some individual performances today because I feel like some of them need to be pointed out. We saw a debut for Neto today, and I'm going to say this. I hope it's the last we've seen of him as well.
Wow, that's a bit harsh.
Listen, I know that's harsh, but you saw what I saw today. With that first goal, what he's doing positioning-wise is beyond me, and it blows my mind as a goalkeeper. And he's professional, remember, how you can be in that position and still attempt to make the save that he did, knowing full well, if your hand touches that ball outside of the box intentionally, you're no longer on the pitch. And then we've got to worry about a 16-year-old going in goal and on all the pressure that goes with that for the rest of the team. The other performance, and you're not going to like this one because I know you're a big fan of his, Raheem Sterling. I've tried to defend him. I even tried to defend him with the penalty and say, it was a good save. The keeper was off his line. I can't defend Raheem Sterling today. I think he started off really promising, but I think as the game started to go on, we started to see why everyone is starting to get, well, not even just starting, why everyone has the frustrations that they have with Raheem Sterling. His end product is nowhere near where it used to be. And we're talking about a man that in his prime was competing with the likes of Messi and Ronaldo for goals and assists. That is how good Raheem Sterling was. And it's not even been that long since then. So I feel like 30 has hit Raheem Sterling like a brick wall, and it's just not turned out to be the signing that I think, me included, that it was supposed to be for Arsenal, and it's a shame to see. And then the other one that I want to talk about, and I've had to accept it today because I don't think he's deserved the criticism that he's been getting from Arsenal fans. But after today, I see it. Mikel Merino, I'm struggling to see what he offers in this Arsenal team at the moment, and I think today really, really highlighted it because at times he could have cost us the game, and it's really disappointing.
Yeah, you know what? It's difficult to disagree with much of what you said there. Let's start with Mourinho. I was actually advocating for Mourinho to get some football in this game. It's a game time. I think the only thing I can say about Mourinho in his defence is that he didn't have a pre-season.
Yep.
He's come into the Premier League from La Liga.
Yep.
I think we can both agree that the two leagues are very, very different. I mean, not so much in terms of quality. I'm talking in terms of physicality, pace, intensity. it's just on a different level, if you ask me. And I think he struggled. But I do see signs that he can come good. Now with Raheem Sterling, yes, you're right. I was being an advocate of his. I really wanted to see him do well, although I had my doubts when we did sign him. Got to agree with you, man. It's kind of sad. We're witnessing the decline of what I would say is a Premier League legend. I know it's been pointed out to me by one or two people, Nick, 100%. That he was a Premier League legend, not for Arsenal, so why you care? But even so, I thought he would do a lot better than he's done. And I think the penalty miss kind of just summed up his whole stay at Arsenal. It was just, you kind of knew he was going to miss, even though I was really pulling for him, because I'm thinking if you get that goal, a bit like what happened with Havertz. I think it was it Bournemouth?
Yep.
Season or so ago when he was down on his luck, he got a penalty and it seemed to help him. I was hoping that might happen for Raheem. It didn't. He looks just off the pace, man. I mean, he started off quite brightly today, but he soon faded.
Listen, I just want to talk about that penalty as well, because it really gets on my nerves, these sympathy penalties. This game wasn't a guaranteed win today. Obviously, on paper, it should have been a guaranteed win, but we certainly made it hard for ourselves today. And the fact that, we wasn't leading comfortably. Of course, we gave Girona plenty of chances today. Thankfully for us, they didn't take them very well. And, we're only leading by 1 goal. After Jorginho comes off the pitch, the next penalty taker after Jorginho should have been Martin Odegaard. I know he's the captain and he's trying to make sure everyone's got the confidence. But when the game is not done and dusted, if you are the next penalty taker in line, you stand up and you take that penalty. And I think today showed why you do that, because you tried to give Raheem Sterling the confidence, you gave Raheem Sterling the penalty, and then he went and messed it up for himself. So
I agree. I mean, some would argue that his confidence needs restoring, so he should have taken it. I thought that, not being funny, we said it on the stream. Well, I said it, and I stand by my words. I think that was a bit of a dereliction of duty, really, from Odegaard not to take the first penalty. Because you're the captain, you're the designated penalty taker. I disagree
with the first one, because Jorginho is probably still the better penalty taker.
Bro, he's the captain, he's the penalty taker. If you think that Jorginho is the better penalty taker, then give him the duty full time. You are the designated penalty taker, as far as I'm aware. We got a penalty in a crucial stage of the game. I expect you as captain to step up. And listen, I'm not dissing Martin Odegaard, because we've had many conversations off camera. Martin Odegaard is one of on-form Martin Odegaard is one of my favourite players. But today, there were a few things that, I wasn't best pleased about. We did get the win, and we are through to the next stage, and job done. And who would you like in the next stage? Because there are a few teams that we could get.
It's a tough one. Obviously, I don't know. I've yet to see the actual table itself and take a look at who I'd want to be playing. But obviously, it's the obvious ones that you want to avoid, really. Yeah. Obviously,
actually, that would have been a better question. Who do you want to avoid?
I think it's obvious who we want to avoid. We want to avoid the Real Madrids of the competition and things like that. I think Bayern Munich are in there somewhere, and we know how far we've got with Bayern Munich in the Champions League over the last few competitions, over the last few times that we've been in the Champions League. So I want to stay away from the big boys in the round of 16. Obviously, as we get later into the competition, we're going to come up against those teams, but at least we're doing it later in the competition, and we can sort of make a name for ourselves a little bit as the further down we go into the competition.
And job done, and so naturally you're going to project forward to the weekend. Yep. Massive game against Man City. Based on what you've seen tonight, or does it not really matter tonight? How confident are you going into that City game?
I'm a lot more confident going into the City game than I have been in previous years, and I think I said that about the first leg as well. Obviously, it's not the same Manchester City team at the moment, and whilst they're coming off the back of, looking like they're getting some sort of form back, it's still a Manchester City team that even struggled today against Club Brugge to stay in. They, by the skin of their teeth, they stayed in the Champions League today. I would be more concerned if they'd stayed out of if they'd got knocked out of the Champions League, because they would have had more of a point to prove in the Premier League. And obviously that's when you've got Manchester City with a point to prove, I think that's a quite frightening prospect. So I'm going into the game with a lot of confidence. Just on this game, based off of the performance I saw today, the must for this game is I must see from Nwaneri playing on that right-hand side, the ability of this, I don't even want to say kid anymore, I want to say man. I think he became the youngest English goal scorer in Champions League history tonight, beating Jude Bellingham. The confidence that he plays with, the ability that he has on that pitch, for me, he should be the first on that team sheet.
So you'd start him on Sunday at the expense of whom?
You're probably looking at, I would probably do it at the expense of Trossard, maybe, because I think obviously Trossard's better coming off of the bench. But even if it was a Martinelli, you've got the option to have Martinelli on the bench, and his pace coming off the bench can be quite frightening as well. We saw it, I think, last season where he came off the bench, and I think he contributed to the goal that won us the game against Manchester City at the Emirates. So either Trossard and Martinelli have to come out in place of Ethan Nwaneri for me, absolutely.
Okay, Frank, thanks very much.